Oh yes, you heard that right. The spectacular icy rings that have been the symbol of Saturn's beauty for centuries are slowly but surely evaporating into the cosmic abyss. The scientific community is abuzz with this intriguing phenomenon, and it's not hard to see why. Saturn's rings, with their ethereal beauty and intricate patterns, have always been shrouded in mystery. From Galileo's first glimpse of them in the 17th century to the detailed images captured by modern telescopes and spacecraft, each revelation has only deepened the enigma. But now the mystery has taken on a new dimension. The rings are disappearing, and the question on everyone's lips is, why? Theories have been proposed, each more fascinating than the last. Some scientists suggest that Saturn's gravitational pull is drawing the icy particles that make up the rings back into the planet. Others propose that solar radiation is vaporizing the ice, causing it to disperse into space. There's even a theory that the rings are being slowly devoured by Saturn's numerous moons. Each hypothesis paints a vivid picture of cosmic drama on an epic scale. But the truth is, we're still not sure why this is happening. It's a puzzle that has captivated astronomers and space enthusiasts alike. The loss of Saturn's rings would not only be a cosmic tragedy, it would also mean losing a valuable scientific resource. These rings provide key insights into the formation of our solar system and the dynamics of planetary rings. Their disappearance would leave a gaping hole in our understanding of the cosmos. So, the stakes are high as scientists around the globe strive to unravel this cosmic conundrum. The race is on to solve the riddle before Saturn's rings fade away completely, taking their secrets with them into the void. But why exactly is Saturn losing its rings? Let's dive into the science behind this. Saturn's rings, as beautiful as they are not a permanent feature. Now that's a statement to give pause, isn't it? This iconic symbol of Saturn, something we've all seen in countless illustrations, is in fact ephemeral. But what exactly are these rings composed of? Well, they're primarily made up of ice particles with a smattering of rocky debris thrown into the mix. Imagine countless tiny ice particles, each ranging from the size of a grain of sand to the size of a mountain orbiting Saturn in a flat, thin disk. Now, just as the Earth's gravity keeps us grounded, Saturn's gravitational pull affects these ice particles, keeping them in their orbits around the planet. But gravity isn't the only force at play here. There's also the centrifugal force, which pushes the particles outward. So, we have these two opposing forces, gravity pulling the particles towards Saturn and the centrifugal force pushing them away. It's this delicate balance between the two that keeps the rings in place. But here's the thing, this balance isn't perfect. There are places where the gravitational pull is stronger, causing some of the ice particles to spiral towards Saturn. But wait, there's a twist. Saturn isn't just a massive planet exerting a gravitational pull, it's also a spinning one. And this spin generates a force that pushes the ice particles outwards, in a way counteracting the pull of gravity. This is why the rings, even though they're being tugged towards Saturn by gravity, don't just crash into the planet. This dance of forces is what makes Saturn's rings such a fascinating subject for scientists. It's a delicate, complex system that's constantly in flux, with ice particles being pulled towards Saturn one moment and being pushed away the next. So it's the gravitational pull of Saturn that's pulling these ice particles towards it. But there's more to the story. There's more to the... Did you know Saturn's magnetic field plays a crucial role in the disappearance of its rings? Now this may sound odd, but stay with me. Saturn's magnetic field is like a giant magnet that extends far into space, reaching out to the icy particles in its rings. These particles, mostly composed of water ice, are constantly being pulled in by the planet's magnetic field. You can think of it as a cosmic tug-of-war, with the magnetic field on one end and the gravity of the outer moons on the other. This interaction results in a fascinating phenomenon known as ring rain. This isn't your typical rain, though. It's actually a steady stream of water particles spiraling down from the rings into Saturn's atmosphere. These icy particles are guided along magnetic field lines, streaming down like water droplets sliding down a window. But what does this mean for Saturn's rings? Well, every single particle that falls into Saturn's atmosphere is one less particle in the rings. Over time, this ring rain gradually depletes the rings, contributing to their slow but steady disappearance. This process isn't a rapid one, though. It's not like Saturn's rings are going to vanish overnight. Based on current estimates, it would take somewhere around 300 million years for the rings to completely disappear. That's longer than the entire existence of the human species. But in cosmic terms, it's merely a blink of an eye. The irony here is that Saturn, renowned for its stunning rings, is the very architect of their demise. It's a cosmic tragedy of Shakespearean proportions where the actor unwittingly brings about their own downfall. So, what we're seeing here is a planetary spectacle in slow motion. Saturn's rings, one of the most beautiful sights in our solar system, are gradually being pulled apart by the very planet they encircle. So, essentially, Saturn's own magnetic field is contributing to the slow disappearance of its majestic rings. It's a melancholy thought, but also a reminder of the ever-changing nature of our incredible universe. So, what does the future hold for Saturn's rings? Well, based on current studies, it's projected that the rings of Saturn will completely disappear in about 100 million years. That might seem like an eternity to us, but in cosmic terms, it's just a blink of an eye. Saturn's rings are slowly being pulled into the planet by its gravity, a process known as ring rain. This causes the icy particles that make up the rings to plunge into Saturn's atmosphere, where they vaporize. But as with most things in the universe, there are factors that could potentially speed up or slow down this process. Let's start with speeding up. One factor that could hasten the demise of the rings is the influence of the planet's moons. Saturn has a whopping 62 moons, and their gravitational pull can create disturbances in the rings, causing the icy particles to collide and break apart, which could then speed up their fall into Saturn. On the flip side, there are also factors that could slow down the process. For example, new material could be added to the rings from the outer moons of Saturn. These moons are constantly being bombarded by micrometeorites, and some of this debris could end up in the rings, replenishing the lost material. Moreover, the interactions between the particles within the rings themselves could also play a role. The particles in the rings constantly collide and exchange energy. Some of these collisions could result in particles gaining enough energy to move to higher orbits, thereby prolonging their existence in the rings. And of course, there's always the wild card of new scientific discoveries. Who knows what we might learn about Saturn and its rings in the future that could change our current understanding? While it's sad to think about Saturn without its iconic rings, this is a fascinating example of the ever-changing nature of our universe. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. Saturn, the sixth planet from the Sun, wears a dazzling crown of icy rings. These rings, though, are not just for show. They are composed of countless particles ranging from tiny dust grains to mountain-sized chunks, all held together by Saturn's gravity. But Saturn's rings are not permanent fixtures. They're slowly disappearing, a process driven by the planet's gravity and its magnetic field. These two forces act together, pulling the ring particles inward, causing them to rain down on Saturn's atmosphere. Scientists estimate that at the current rate of loss, Saturn's rings could be gone in a mere 100 million years or so.